Hey everybody, so we're back again to talk about Loki Season 2. If you saw my review last week, you know I'm not doing reactions this time because I'm watching it with a group of friends over at a friend's house. So, sadly no reactions, but we're still going to talk about it. So, this week we got episode 2 of Loki. So, let's get it. Alright, so just going to talk about overall. The episode overall, still very good. Quality, great. Effects, great. The sets, great. The acting, great. The build up, they're still building up to something. You can just feel it. But this episode is particularly about Loki and Mobius trying to find Sylvie. So they're like, where is she? We need to find her because Loki had that vision. They come to this conclusion that the hunter, I can't think of his right now, is like X5 or something. One of the TVA dudes from the first episode, like, he's got to know. So they track him back to 1977 on the Sacred Timeline. And he's become like a movie star. This might be my favorite part of the episode, is that when they're chasing him down to get him, Loki actually gets to see some of his powers. Like, once they start the chase, I'm like, bro, you have powers. What are you doing? Like, chasing him. He's just running after him. I'm like, can't you, like, do something else other than run? So to see Loki actually get to use some of his powers is neat, because I feel like in his own show, he doesn't actually get to use a lot of his powers. Anyways, they catch him, and then a lot of the episode has to do with them good cop, bad copping him into getting some information. Mobius tells Loki, yo, don't let him get into your head. He's going to try all these tricks. But what he actually ends up doing is getting into Mobius's head, wondering about what his life on the Sacred Timeline was like. So they come up with a plan where Loki's going to go in and, like, use his mischief and his powers to scare it out of him, which does happen. They track Sylvie back to, where she was in the post-credit scene of the last ones. It was like 1982 in Oklahoma, working at McDonald's. And like I said to my friends, it was the best McDonald's commercial I've ever seen. I mean, they did it in a way, it wasn't like super, super obvious, but also it's like, I feel like McDonald's paid y'all for a couple of these lines. I don't know. I mean, I don't know for sure, but like the apple pie line, the being able to get stuff to go line. Mobius also said something about just how great of a meal it was. Like, I'm like, it's fine. I like myself some McDonald's every once in a while. Hey, it's a thing. Loki tracks Sylvie down, and she's like, no, I don't ever plan on going back to TVA, working with them. The hunter also reveals the plan. What was her name? Dox's plan about bombing the other timelines. So they're like, oh shoot, we gotta stop that. So they track her down somewhere. They stop some of it from happening, but there was several timelines that got bombed. And the one of the realest scenes comes from this, is when they get back to the TVA and you see on the monitor all the branched timelines like disappearing. And I think it's Hunter B12, is that her name? I'm pretty sure she's the one that was like, those are lives, like countless lives on each branch that was just murdered. And it gets like kind of heavy for a little bit, and then Sylvie leaves. I can't quite remember like how the show ends. I don't remember if it left on a cliffhanger or not. Renslayer is still not around. She's been mentioned a few times. OB came back. He's still working on the machine for the big part, but I don't know if he'll need it now that the some of the stuff got bombed. Like, I don't know if he'll need it as soon. But one thing that I've liked so far between the past couple episodes is that it feels more like an ensemble, which is kind of cool. It feels like an ensemble workplace show, where I feel like the first season was mainly Loki, Mobius, Renslayer. This one's like Loki, Mobius, B12, OB, what's his name, Casey. Like, It's like the TVA is now like a workplace, and you have like everyone doing their own jobs. It's kind of cool. They're definitely building up to something. I thought this was gonna be the episode that had Victor Timely in it, because of when they showed up in the 77 with their suits on. I'm like, oh, they're wearing suits in the Quantum Mania post-credit scene. But then, once I got home and stuff, I remembered they were also wearing hats, I think, in that post-credit scene, and they weren't wearing hats in this episode. So, when they wear hats, then we'll know. I don't really have a whole lot of questions, I guess, from this one, or like theories. I do think we probably will see Renslayer next episode, I would assume. Renslayer or Miss Minutes, because they've been name dropped a lot, and there's like this weird like eeriness when they talk about Miss Minutes in this show too. So I feel like even the build up to her showing back up is something. So I'm ready to see some other multiverses. I'm ready to see some cameos. I'm ready to see some alternate versions of Loki and Mobius and everyone. I'm ready to see Jonathan Majors as well. I'm ready to see his Victor Timely, what he's bringing to this season. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of this episode, where you think it's going from here on out. Leave a like, subscribe, check out my review for episode 1. I'll see you next time.